Welcome back to the Pixelists podcast, my friends, the podcast about all the nerdy things we love and enjoy. As always, we're your hosts. That's Blake. I'm Will. And today we're here to talk a little Critical Role, a little Age of Umbra. But before we do, we might have a little bit of a shorter episode today because there might be a new Pixelist on the way very, very soon today.
Yes, my wife is starting labor as of about 20 minutes ago. Well, starting contractions, excuse me. So people were like, why are you here? Yeah, she's delivering at the hospital right now, but said I couldn't miss this episode. Yeah, so a little shorter, and also we've had a little bit of a shorter format with Age of Umbra also,
Yeah.
kind of having a quick recap and things of that nature. So all that to say, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow, which I'm never excited about. So that's hanging over my head, but otherwise I'm doing good.
What if I was just like, oh yeah, well, I'm having a baby, like to every inconvenience you have.
Fair. That's
So
fair.
we were telling our 5-year-old, because my wife's not obviously feeling great with
Yeah.
contractions, and my 5-year-old was like trying to understand, and I was like, yeah, when you have a baby, it's just really painful. She was like, am I gonna have to do that? And I was like, if you have kids, yeah, it'll be kind of painful. She was like, I wish I was a boy. I was like, nice.
I get it. Yeah.
Yep. It is pretty nice. So, couple of other pieces of news. We shared this in the Discord, and it made the rounds on social media. But Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford have joined the Critical Role team with Chris Perkins as creative director and Jeremy Crawford as game director, which is pretty insane news. Like,
Yeah.
these are two incredible polls. Formerly of Wizards of the Coast. I don't know much about Chris Perkins, but Jeremy Crawford obviously managed all of 1D&D, and I think also 5e. Do you have a better knowledge than I do?
No, I don't. I know that I don't know what his job title was, but Chris Perkins was very big over there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Jeremy Crawford, one of the lead developers for 4e and also 5e, and again for 1D&D. So yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
I was reading this wiki, and I got this throwback to Dwight when he in the office, where Dwight like tries to steal the client from Michael Scott, and he's like, "And how is your gay son?" Because I was reading the wiki, and it was like, he did this and he's gay. It's like, so I almost said that out loud of like, oh, and he's gay. And I was like, that'd be like a Dwight Schrute moment. But anyway, you guys didn't care, but now you
Classic.
know. So there's some like interesting mixed chatter about this, by the way. I thought everyone would be pretty excited about two insane heavy hitters joining the CR team, but some of the responses have been a little mixed, and it seems like some people are a little upset about this, seeming that it maybe confirms Daggerheart, maybe it confirms some other system in the works or some other, you know, adjustments to even Daggerheart or something in between. What's your gut reaction to this news?
I mean, I thought it was cool. I feel like it's a good get for the Critical Role team. Like, shows that they're making moves too. Like, regardless of if, you know, what system they use for C4, I just feel like it's a good thing overall. Because, I mean, Hasbro sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like, so, yeah, I think it's great that they've got those two talented people on Darrington Press now. I mean, again, I don't think it necessarily means anything as far as, you know, if C4 won't be 5e, but I certainly think it shows that they're probably going to continue to move further away from that. But I think they're on like the Critical Role or the D&D like official Twitter or whatever even like congratulated them, and like, so I think there's like a pretty good relationship there still. So I don't think it's like burn the bridges and we're never touching 5e again type of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's absolutely just insane news. Like, two incredible heavy hitters, and developers for D&D. I mean, it does show. I mean, it definitely gives confidence that CR is not moving away from like tabletop
Yeah.
anytime soon or retiring, or it does make you really interested in like kind of what they are planning to build out long term. Um, I'm still I'm still okay with, is probably not the best way to put it, but the more I've seen of Age of Umbra, the more I'm open to Daggerheart being the campaign setting for C4. Um, but we'll also have to see.
Yeah.
Still
I'm
no
kind of the
news.
same way. Like my gut instinct right now is that I probably would prefer C4 to be 5e just because that's what I'm so used to, but it's not going to
Mhm.
be a big deal either way. Like I'll get used to it, you know. Um but
We've
longer term, it definitely feels like, you know, they're going to keep trying to insulate themselves with their own IP just in terms of
yeah,
for so many reasons, you know, like it's just cleaner. You don't have to worry about controversies with other things and, you know. So that seems to be the general meta of what they're doing, but I don't know if that means it'll, you know, have impact this immediate in terms of C4.
I feel like it all began from the one D&D updated. What was it called?
Yeah,
The
yeah. What was that called?
Players Agreement or
I know what you're
something, or
talking about though.
like that. It kind of feels like it all stemmed from there. Of like,
Yeah.
no one's they can't say no to us, and then that's exactly what they
Yep.
did.
Yep.
So
And then I saw
anyway,
that Todd Kendrick was fired by
who is that?
D&D, Wizards of the Coast, I guess. He's another like huge uh person there.
Okay.
So that made me wonder like might they pick him up too? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, yeah, Todd. Oh, yesterday, Todd Kendrick and Jess Lenzio, the VP of D&D, is stepping down. Dude, talk about like talent churn at Wizards of the
Right?
Coast.
What are they
And remember
doing?
also, remember when Lyrian said they were not going to continue like
Mm,
the Baldur's Gate
yeah,
IP,
yeah.
and they said something to the effect of like everyone that was in the room from Wizards of the Coast whenever they like started that collaboration is now gone. Like they're all
Dang.
gone. And so they were like, yeah, we're like ready for something else.
Bro,
But
what if Larian made the Critical Role game?
dude, no way.
I
Come
mean,
on. That'd be
pieces
insane.
are moving is all I'm saying.
That'd be insane.
That'd be
I mean,
crazy.
I just have to imagine if they did, it would be like heads would spin, I feel
Yeah.
like. I
I
just
mean, they would seem to be aligned on like passion in terms of
Mhm.
like, you know, we're willing to pay you what you're worth for this studio. And I don't know. It's not the subject for today, probably, but I could see it. That's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, I do have a baby coming, so I
Yep.
guess we should
Yep.
probably
Yep.
jump into this. And quick shout out to OKC Thunder, who are up three, three games. Well, up one game, but they've won their third game, and final games Thursday.
There, yeah, it might not be the final game, but the next game's
Oh,
Thursday.
right.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I hope so.
they can't do it to me. I'm not
Yeah.
going to get hurt again. So anyway, a little bit of some lore history there with me and Will. We're excited. But anywho, jumping into Age of Umbra episode 3, and just a little reminder, we're doing a condensed recap format for these, also because today's episode is going to be quicker anyway. But definitely just hitting the high notes and doing it in 4 or 5 minutes as opposed to our traditional 15-minute recap. Let us know in the comments if you like that kind of format or if you like the older format, because we'll keep it in mind for campaign 4. Having said that, this was episode 3 of Age of Umbra. What is gained? What is lost? And what's lost is Erin, the teenage girl who
Yikes.
had killed a couple of the pyre keepers and put out the fire. Um, uh, she is super dead. Basically, a demon like grows out of her with like tentacles, and it's real bad. Matt points
Hmm.
out that it continues to wear Erin's face, by the way, but calls this creature a limb wreath. And basically, first half is battle against this thing. It was very intense. Nobody went down, but it was very intense, and it did look like they weren't going to be able to pull it out. Fortunately, eventually, Idle does land the "How do you want to do this?" And the party then has to decide, where do we go from here? Like, is Desperlock doomed? Are the townspeople screwed? And essentially, after a long rest, they have a meeting with the Praxis Collective. These are like, I think, the scholars of the town. If you remember, there's like a couple of different factions
Yeah.
within the town. And so they meet with the Praxis Collective and like some of the leaders of the town. And the leaders let them know that there is a way to reignite the pyre. And it's through something called the Sacred Branch or Blessed Branch, actually, I think is what it was. In that they know of a couple of these blessed branches. And one of them is found in the Gilded Shambles, far to the northwest, in the ruins of the Gilded Spires that fell 70 years ago. And it's covered with demons and fiends. And he's like, don't worry. They're like, don't worry. You guys aren't going to go to that place. We're going to send Vigil Ghost Hook and a group of people to go retrieve that blessed branch. And meanwhile, you guys are going to go after the other one, which is in the Barrow of Blind Repose, which was a tomb that sealed away Elviar, this heretic that at some point was like doomed or killed or something to that effect. To get there, they're going to have to go through, I think, like a town called Volkuru, maybe, or like maybe that was the name of like the Sunken Ramparts or something, but also a mention of the Screaming Forests,
Mhm.
which the party, as they begin on their journey, Misty is pulled aside by what's Talison's character's name?
August?
Um, August, and basically says, "Hey, you don't remember this, but our mother, the queen, basically, she lives in the Screaming Forest, and she's not happy that we left. In fact, she's the one who put this moth in my back."
Ooh.
And it's basically like, we're gonna have to, be careful because she's gonna be looking for us and is going to be wanting to be capturing us again. Um, they basically begin their journey. I think they pass through an area called like the Ashen Sea, basically just like cataclysmic area.
Yeah.
We're not passing through like petting a deer or anything like that. It's
Right.
all real bad. But they basically begin their adventure away. And I think there was even a data point around like Snyx being like, I'm not willing to go that far, but I'll take you guys to like a certain point.
Yeah.
Continuing to play into like the theme of Snyx being uh, this coward of the party, I guess. But anyway, that's where the episode comes to an end. Again, episode 3 of Age of Umbra. What is gained, what is lost, and let us know what you thought about the episode down in the comments below. So,
Yes, well
my
done.
friend, I think I watched this a week ago. I think you just recently wrapped it up.
I just
Any other
finished the end. Sorry. What'd you say?
big data points that I missed, by the way?
Um, not no, not really. They're just the thing I didn't get to write it down, but like when Matt was describing how they were going to head to the Barrow of Blind Repose, there were like all of these. I was imagining like POIs on like a MMO map. Like he kept saying
Mhm.
all of these really cool names, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
gosh, like it just got me so invested in in the world building here, and just this is something we've talked about every episode, but I really think Matt is thriving here, and
Mhm.
I can picture it every time, like my Elden Ring journey. Like I'm like, oh, like just the Barrow of Blind Repose is such like a cool name. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what I was focusing on at the in the last part that yeah, I just was able to catch up on.
On the Critical Role wiki, which shout out to the people who manage that page as well. They've done a great job of having recaps up for each episode,
Oh, I didn't even know
which
that.
yeah, which I do miss Crit Roll stats.
Yeah, me too.
Critical Role Wiki is doing a great job, and like I said, they've had very detailed write ups, and it's been good for me to go back to it and see, oh, okay, now what was the name of that person and what have you.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I'll have to
um,
check that out.
they have a map that
Oh,
it's a
check this out
screenshot
right
of the
now.
map of the Halcyon domain as revised for the Age of Umbra miniseries. The Luzon monasteries in the forest lowest corner. So I this seems like this is the official map of this area. Um, but regardless, I mean, it's very cool. It's an awesome map, and it does give me, when you open up Elden Ring, you get like Limgrave, and like you start to like look out, and you're
Hmm.
like, what is that, or what's over there? Or I think about in Elden Ring, there's like behind like maybe one of the castles, there's like this like distant kind of not a floating island, but it's just connected by like one little land
Yeah,
bridge.
yeah, yeah,
Which like, can you go there? So same vibes looking at this map of like, oh dang, dude, there's the Screaming Forest, there's the Amber Reach, the Amber Gate. Are
yeah.
you looking at
Okay,
this
yeah.
thing?
Sorry,
Very
what?
cool map for
Yeah,
sure.
this is my first time seeing it. Yeah, it's very cool. Full on Elden Ring, like you said.
Mhm. Um, and you can't see it on here. Yeah. So at the top and like the mountains above the Amber Reach, like this massive city or fallen city, is the Barrow of Blind Repose. So they got a little bit of a journey ahead of them. Um, Enjoyed combat this episode.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Aaron. Hate to
Yeah.
see you go.
That was something I definitely felt like was not that bad things can't happen in main campaigns, but I felt like, okay, if this, especially this early in a series, episode 2, 3, like I thought there would have been a chance to save Aaron, but nope, just dead, brutally
Yeah.
murdered, young daughter. So yeah, I felt like that was Matt kind of taking off the gloves a little bit.
Yeah. In the Discord, there was like a moment where he described like the pincers and like the skin like sloughing off basically, and I was like, okay, so she's super dead.
Ooh, yeah.
Like,
Yikes.
but yeah, I felt bad for her dad. It's like, sorry,
Yeah.
dude. Yep,
Matt
she's
really
done.
rubbed salt in the wound with that. Like,
Yeah, wasn't there something like we all made it? Oh, except for your daughter. But there was something like that. I can't remember
yeah.
exactly what it was.
Like, ooh.
Yeah. Um, Another great combat. I am enjoying Daggerheart, the system more and more every time I see it.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
starting to pick
there
up
is
on more.
there is still like this interesting. We talked about this a little bit before, but like it almost feels like with the lack of initiative, there is still like an unspoken initiative.
Yeah.
Like where it almost feels like people are like, do you want to go ahead and go?
Mhm.
And like you kind of see like a natural rhythm, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It does make me wonder, okay, if people are going to kind of naturally take, like, I think there was like one round of combat where like they literally just went down the line of like where they were seated,
Yeah.
which could have been a coincidence. But point being, I do wonder if that's like the one thing that might get revised or if they're committed to that. Because again, it did just seem like they were forming kind of a natural unspoken initiative anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that too. And I've been wondering about that because I feel like depending on the table, that could either be really good or really bad. You
Mhm.
know, like I feel like some tables would benefit from the structure of like, so that people aren't like crowding, like
Yeah.
stealing the spotlight, for lack of a better word. But Critical Role has always been great at that. So I think that really caters to them. But yeah, I have been curious about how this would actually work in practice, like if we were playing or something, you know.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I think these are all professionals. They love each other. They've played
Yeah.
together for years. Like, let's not forget how degenerate some D&D players
Yeah.
are. The min maxers, the
Right.
people who, they argue with the DM. I just, I don't know. I don't know. It I will say I'm loving the fear mechanic. I'm loving it
Me
as a
too.
resource. There was a moment where Matt ran out of fear, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh man, like as the party, you can almost sense the momentum shifting
Mhm.
of like, okay, he's out of fear. This is really good. This is great. And he was like then having to do stress points, and then that was then leading to taking more damage. So like that rhythm was really cool to me.
Agreed.
But again, you almost kind of miss the initiative order because it kind of takes away the opportunity for people to, like you said, kind of. you know, crowd the
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
or, having, you were gonna use your feet. Well, I want to do this first, or, instead of understanding, well, actually, it goes back to the DM now. And
Right.
anyway, so
Yeah, I think that's an interesting kind of give and take they're gonna have to figure out. But I 100% agree with you that the fear mechanic and all that's like probably my favorite part of this new system so far. That in the death mechanics, which we talked
mhm,
about a couple episodes ago. But yeah, you're totally like it totally feels more like a boss fight, like from a video game, and because you can feel the I don't know the rhythm of the fight.
yeah,
Because
uh-huh,
in D&D, you or at least this is what Matt does. He kind of says like, "Oh, they're looking rough now." Like, "Oh, they're looking really rough now." But now you can kind of feel it in the mechanics. Like, "Oh, he's out of fear, and now he's accumulating stress. Like, we're about to get this."
mhm.
So I really like that aspect.
I almost wonder if like if the issue is like rolling for initiative and like all of that stuff, like I almost wonder if it was just better if you just took, how like you have your initiative, you have your dex modifier that contributes to your initiative in
Yeah.
5e. I almost wonder if like, and I can't remember what the exact stat is in Daggerheart. If you just make that be whoever has the highest number goes
Mhm.
first, and
Just
so
like a
if you don't want,
locked initiative
yeah,
number.
and
Yeah.
so you just always know the order. You just always know like who's going to go win. Because that's the other thing too is again not even talking about like degenerate players, but there is like people there is a massive crowd of D&D players who are new to D&D or they're playing for the first time or they're nervous about playing or getting involved, and the initiative order in terms of like it's your turn
Mhm.
kind of allows that person to step in and make a decision on what they want to
Yeah.
do. And it's kind of like if you're an introvert and you go to a party with a bunch of extroverts, like, you're just gonna let them all do their thing,
Right.
and so I kinda like there being some kind of setup thing there so that that person always knows, "This is when I'm going," and it kinda just protects their space a little
Yeah.
bit,
I agree
which I
with that.
again, I think we lose that a little bit with these amazing actors who know how to give and take.
Mhm.
You don't always have that at a
Yeah.
traditional table.
I completely agree. So I don't know what like the perfect marriage of the kind of freedom with the guaranteed like structure would be, but and I wonder if that is something that they're still like actively workshopping, or if because I mean Daggerheart's out now, not that there can't be
Mhm,
patches and new additions, but like I wonder how much tinkering they're still doing at this point.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely curious about it. I wonder how like their sales have been, by the way. Like, I wonder if
Oh yeah,
commercially, if it's been. I haven't followed anything, but
I
I
haven't
wonder
either.
success, how much of success it's been, or what that's looked like for them. But
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that. I have to look into
um, so the party they
that.
defeated Aaron. They're now on this quest to go get the Blessed Branch. What did you make of Matt having there be another group? Is that like in case there's a TPK? Like, don't worry, Desperlock
Hmm.
isn't. Maybe we cut to Liam
Being
and
to ghost.
Laura
Yeah,
with that group. I mean, I don't know. I'm so interested as to why Matt said, "And we have a contingency. We have another
yeah.
group that's going to get one."
You know what? I honestly didn't even think of it like in that light. To me, I originally was just like, oh, this is kind of cool world building. Like this town is screwed right now without the fire. Like either everyone has to migrate to the nearest town or we got to find a solution to this. So to me, it was like, okay, yeah, we're going to put out as many feelers as we can to try to solve this problem. So, we'll send this team to the more treacherous one, as it sounded. So to me, it was like, maybe this would make it for a cool update a couple episodes down the line. Like, oh, their entire party was wiped out. But you make up
Mm,
a good point about like, this is a very brutal campaign. Like, what if our cast dies? Like, maybe that would be a good way to loop in Laura and Liam and kind of continue things moving. So I don't know.
yeah.
Like, like I said, I didn't really even think about it until you said that.
Well, and also the journey. I think Matt said like this is like a 3 or 4 week journey or something to that effect. Or maybe I'm misremembering.
No, I think
Maybe
there
2 weeks.
something like that.
Well, there was the mention, speaking of world building, the Umbral Winds, I think
Hmm.
is what it was called, and how like there are I think it was, like, every 6 weeks or something or 6 months, but
6
it's
months,
it's
yeah.
been but now it's, like, month 8
Yeah,
since
it's
they've
been
had
like
one.
7. Yeah.
That's just the way it always goes, man. It couldn't have been like, "It's a good thing we just had one,"
Right. Of course.
you know?
Which
But,
and I don't know if I missed it or if it was like left intentionally vague, but do we know exactly like what the branch is? Like is it like a literal branch that's used to like light these fires, or is that more of like a symbolic name of like, oh, you must go to the branch?
yeah, it's a good I kinda just envision, like, "What do we just throw this in here?
Yeah.
Alright." You know, and it just I mean,
And
I
it
don't know.
and again, probably it's intentionally left vague, but like is it like a reusable thing? Like, what do you mean? Like, there's a branch in this town? Like, are they not using it? Is it like, is it like a lighter that just needs to be passed around every time it's used? I'm just curious about how this works.
Yeah, that's a good point. They I just imagine them, like, bringing it back and, like, throwing it into, like, the fire pit, and it creates the fire, and then, like, the Praxis Collective person's like, "Oh, good job, now hand me the branch so we
Yeah,
can
it's
use
like
it."
we're gonna
Yeah.
need that back.
It's like,
What?
"Oh, we threw the whole thing in there." "You did what?" So,
Um,
um,
but yeah,
yeah, it would be
or go ahead.
say it would be
Um,
crazy also if they just heard the next day that Desperlock was destroyed, because then it would be like, "Oh, do we still go get this branch, or do we do something else?" Like,
yeah,
I don't think that would happen.
I was wondering that exact thing because it is a mini series. So my one thought was, okay, maybe this is the arc of this miniseries, like saving Desperlock, relighting the pyre. Like that could feasibly span the whole 8 episodes to me. Like we go get the branch, we come back, that's the end. Or since this is supposed to be like a gloves off, very dark and sad tale, like maybe Desperlock's just screwed. Like maybe they do find out, well, the whole town died because the winds came through. So I really could see it going either way. I don't really know what to expect. But I guess if Desperlock does fall, where is the narrative going from that point?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they have to just find
Well,
somewhere else to go. Period.
I will say I am really loving the world building of it all, and it does make me excited potentially for a C4 to not wipe the slate clean, but to have a time skip, to have like some new
Mhm.
terrain. Matt had some comment around this, but I don't have it off the top of my head, but there was chatter around Exandria and Age of Umbra or something to that effect, and he basically said, Exandria obviously isn't going anywhere, but it's so lore-wise, it's so dense. Like there's so much built and built on top of one another. Um, so it does make me wonder if he's thinking about something completely clean for C4. Not necessarily leaving Exandria, but if we did have it's 1,000 years into the future, and we've kind of Pangeified. Like now
Yeah.
this continent's over here, and I don't know, but I think especially as a DM, like you kind of get to a point where like creative juices, like you really need some new paper to write on, I guess.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I've felt with this. I feel like you can kind of feel that excitement in Matt, like getting to do new things.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm totally with that, and I can't wait to see what they do for C4 because I feel like really anything could be on the table. Like it could be an immediate pickup dealing with the gods coming back, or it could be, what, like, 10,000 years in the future, seeing like what this new era has shaped the world into. I really don't think it'll be that big of a time jump, but anything's on the table, really.
Yeah.
And then this is sort of, it's not, it's on the same subject, but a little bit removed. They did like a big article with, I can't remember who, Entertainment Weekly or something like that.
He's always like I feel like they're so good at like getting like every like 2 months we get another one of these like,
Yeah.
full page article things, but
And I think they were just talking about the 10-year anniversary. And like there was some quote that's like, we're not going anywhere. Like we have no plans to stop. Not that anyone thought that like they were gonna hang it up and shut down the company, but one thing we've talked about is like, could they be slowly bringing in people like Robbie and to maybe the cast wants to do something else. But this quote and article gave me the complete opposite impression. Like, no, they're around to stay. So
well, and if you think about it, in retrospect of some of those other content pieces where they talk about like the future of CR that kind of inspired some of that chatter.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like spun out other parts of the IP with different people.
Mhm.
Like, oh man, can't think of it now.
Like Candela?
Not well, yes, Candela, but that's always had like core cast people in it.
Right. Oh, like
Um,
I know what you're talking about
the,
now.
the audio one,
Yeah, this
um,
Reslayer's take.
yeah, Reslayer's take. So I mean, they're kind of nurturing and seeing where these things go.
Mhm.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much momentum around their brand right now, especially with the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And we still have three more live shows, I think.
Yeah, I think the Australian one's like about to happen
We're not far.
cuz
Let's see.
I saw them talking about like they did some like promotion for it. So I didn't know if that
Yeah,
meant it was like next week or if it's just like sort of soon.
it's in 2 weeks
Oh wow.
or in 1 week on the 25th.
Oh wow. Okay.
The time is no, the 19th.
Wait,
It's in 2 days.
the live show's in 2 days?
Hang on. The Melbourne one is on the 25th.
That's the second one?
I think that's the second one. Let's see. Kicks off. Okay, that's the Melbourne one. Where's the Sydney one? Sydney. Yeah, in 2 days.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, so very
Dang.
soon. Okay. So they're probably in Australia right now already.
Yeah. Dang, that's kind of crazy that in 2 days they're starting Tag Team at the Teeth.
Yeah, and like that could be again, we don't know for sure what that's about, but seemingly that's going to be a very big like narrative. Like
Mm-hmm,
that's pretty much a C3 episode.
mm-hmm. And then let's see.
I guess it
I don't
won't
see it.
be it's clearly not going to be live though. I guess they'll just like
No.
most live
Well, no,
shows.
didn't they say you could watch it in a movie theater? Did you see that news?
Probably
Or
they do stuff like that, but I wonder if that might not be live though.
oh yeah,
It
that's
might
a
just be
good
like
point.
the broadcast of it. I
No, yeah, you're right. Let's see.
wonder if they'll do that near us. They never do. Like whatever
Yeah.
theater they partner with, I don't think is one we have here.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll figure it out and go from there. Oh, wait. Hang on. Oh no, this is the actual that's the actual show again. So, okay. Well, I mean either way, kind of crazy that you know, oh no. They are. It's at Malco at 7 on Thursday.
It, so it is live.
I
Sort of. I mean, at least if not
how could
literally
that
live, like same day.
be possible?
I don't know. They're like live streaming to a theater. I mean, I guess they could just be live. Are they live? Can you watch it on Twitch on on Friday?
No, right? I mean, it says here Critical Role live, Sydney, Australia, opening Thursday, 7 p.m. at Malco Razorback Cinema.
Yeah, because it couldn't be live because there's no like Australia is such a different time.
Australia's a day ahead. So it would be right after the show ended, basically. Because 7 o'clock our time is the morning of the 20th for Australia.
And they must have the video editors going crazy if they're trying to put all that together that fast.
Yeah, it
Wondering.
would literally be we've wrapped it, send it to the theaters, which technology, man, I it kind of blows my mind that they get all that put together so
That
quickly.
is
But
crazy.
anyway,
Wow.
all right, I should probably go do this baby
Have
thing.
a baby?
So,
Yeah. Um
but crazy that I mean, I'm not going to be able to with the baby, but crazy to think that I could just swing into a theater on Thursday and watch it. Kind
Joy
of
will
crazy.
understand.
Yeah. I'll be out and get some milk. It says here the showing time is 300 minutes. So I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You were gone all night.
And I guess they're probably doing that for the next show too.
Yeah, I bet so.
Hmm.
So, still pretty cool. All right, friends. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. No stream Friday, obviously.
No stream Friday. We will
Um,
have our watch party Thursday in the Discord for Umbra Ep 4. And then
yeah,
I guess we didn't figure this out yet, but if they are live streaming the Sydney show, we'll definitely have people watching for that too.
yep,
Even if that's not Thursday or whatever, whenever that happens, we'll be in the Discord. So come join us.
yep. Alrighty.
Alrighty, man. Next time we'll have another Pixelist member.
Yep. And the OKC will be world champions.
That's right. That's right,
So,
baby.
all right.
Alrighty, y'all.
See you guys.
Till next time.